Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's brand new episode of the Being Podcast, a safe space for us to come together, talk about, discuss, encourage one another, and challenge even one another in the ways in which we believe, how we engage, how we're innovative, navigate, and gain in every area of our lives. I am your host, Jada, and I welcome you all, new and old, to another episode of the podcast. So, with that, I'm going to jump right on in. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope you're surviving the holiday so far, celebrating what needs to be celebrated, and just dealing with all the things, right? And that you continue to be in that same flow as we continue through, the rest of the holidays. I just wanted to take a moment this week to really discuss the need of community. Okay, so last week I dealt with the second anniversary of the passing of my mom, and yeah, I was a little sad. Yep, feeling the feels, right? But I also leaned into my community. I leaned into my support system. I even had to remind my husband, like, hey, you know what? It's hitting me. I am a little cranky today. And really, I'm not trying to be cranky. I'm not trying to be mad. I'm just a little sad. Right. So I had to kind of bring that back to his remembrance. And I'm like, yeah, there are some good things going along with this day as well. It was my niece's birthday. My brother and sister-in-law, they were celebrating their third anniversary. So there's good things, but there were also these things that were just kind of sad for me, so bittersweet. But the so what was that I had to, one, acknowledge why I was feeling how I was feeling, and then two, communicate not only to myself the needs that I was feeling, but also to my husband. I'm like, yep, I'm trying to just keep moving, keep pushing, doing all the things because it was on Saturday. So I'm trying to be here and still, take care of the kids, take care of the home, all of those things, but also saying, you know what? I recognize that I too need a moment. I just need to be able to process a little bit. I'm gonna need for you to jump in and help me and to understand that me being short, me being any kind of negative way is not a reflection on you or the babies. It's just me understanding that I am a little sad today. So I think it's so crucial, right? So in the program that I have, and I've taught other women, and I don't want to say taught, but I've given them different solution sets, right? Because not it's not a one size fits all in this world, right? So I can only give them some different solutions, some different ideas, and then they have to try on, if you will, what works for them. So for me, the first thing is like our mindset and everything, but the second step is communication. How are we communicating, one, with ourselves? What are we telling ourselves? What are we reading? What are we watching? What are we listening to? And then what are we believing from those interactions? And then what are we starting to tell ourselves? Another example, I'm on this, it's not a diet. Like, I'm not, never been on like diets or anything, and not that they're bad. That's just not been my thing, right? But I've been on this really wanting, or thinking I'm wanting, really wanting to have a better lifestyle, right? So a lot of people will say, and I think it's true, like, I want a lifestyle change. I want to incorporate, eating well and drinking water and exercising and all of the things, right? So yeah, we sit up here and we're like, yep, this is what I want to do. But for me, it's like I'll start, then I'll stop, then I'll start, then I'll stop. But I had to say and get real with myself and say, okay, Jada, why are you doing this? Why do you want this change? And for me, it was like, okay, because I want to live longer. I want to have a good quality of life. Like, I had and have good reasons for wanting to do that. But I would also sit here and tell myself and tell other people and say, yeah, I'm good with the working out piece of it, but my eating is garbage. It just is. I'm not going to cook. I'm not going to change. I know what it is. So I'm almost working out to negate what I'm eating, right? So it hit me though, maybe a couple of months ago now. I'm like, well, Jada, yeah, you're saying that, but then are you trying to allow yourself an escape, right? So instead of me doing the hard thing, I'm saying I want to eat better. I'm saying I want to be, more mindful of these things, not only for myself, but also to teach my children, right? So trying to show and not just say. So I'm like, but when I'm sitting up here, like, yeah, I eat terrible. Yeah, I don't really cook every day, and that's not what I do, and da 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 da, right? And I'm like, that's just kind of how people say, well, that's just who they are. And it's like giving them a pass to be not the nicest people, right? So I felt like it finally hit me. Like, I'm trying to give myself a pass for not doing the thing that I claim that I want to do. So, what are we communicating to ourselves, trying to justify it? How are we spinning it to communicate it with the people around us so that they'll just jump on board and help us with this narrative? And then how do we change that if that's what we're really saying we want to do? And that's where I'm at now. I promise y'all, when I come out here and I'm sharing my heart and sharing my mind, it's not like, oh, Jada read a book and this is what she's telling me. No, this is what I'm really living and what I'm going through. I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. We're all trying to figure it out, right? So I'm just sharing with you, like, for the longest, I mean, years, decades, I've been like, yeah, I eat bad. That's what I do. Yeah, I had good genes in a sense. My dad's genes kind of pass on through me, and I'm good. I can just eat whatever. And now it's like, but you can, but does that mean you should? You can, but do you have to? And that's where I'm starting to make those changes. But I was communicating this, one, to myself, and then two, to other people. And so for me to change the narrative and change the trajectory of what I really want to do, which I really do want to do, I had to change that narrative in my mind. And then it's like, okay, if my mind is changing, remember mindset number one, if my mind is changing, then my thoughts should be changing and my words should then change. And then my actions should follow that. And then it also went into me telling the people that I care about, like, yeah, I keep saying this, but so whenever I do want to eat bad, I have people to hold me accountable because we all need that. You can sit here and listen to me and be like, nah, sis, I'm good. I got it. I can control me. And maybe you can, but it doesn't hurt to have an extra layer of accountability. So for me, I have, my people that are in my trusted circle and they be like, all right, so what'd you eat? Did you drink your water? Did you do the things, right? And I'm like, yeah. And it keeps me on the straight and narrow. Now I will tell you now, your friend here, I'm an 80-20%. Like 80%, I need to be doing well every single day. 20%, I'm going to still have whatever that treat is that I want to have, right? I'm not going to deprive myself because then I do believe I would go overboard. So, communication is so big. Communication and community, right? So, who are we putting around us so that we can reach our goals? Are you, just take an inventory, are you surrounding yourself with people that will be like, yeah, girl, yes, yes, yep, mm-hmm. Are you doing that because you feel like you need those people to validate and justify your choices? Or whatever the reason may be. Do you also have people around you, though, that are going to give you the love that you need, even if it's tough love, and you know that they're coming from a place of love and support and care for you? I'm just saying this could be a good time as we're going into the new year here in just a few weeks. It's crazy. Maybe you need to do some cleaning. Maybe you need to do some rearranging. I'm not saying that you have to like remove everybody from your life, but as we are busy and active and have all the things and all the people that are, fighting for our attention and for our time and our energy and everything else, maybe you just need to reprioritize, right? Like, who are you going to for whatever it is that you need? Maybe you need to just kind of take stock of that so that as you're going into this new year and like, hey, these are the goals I have, these are the things I want to get after for 2024 and then beyond, right? But let's kind of just shorten it. So what are you trying to get after and who's in there that's helping you to reach that? That's my challenge to you. So I'm not saying like, hey, clean house completely where it's like you have no one, because we all need people. I'm a firm believer of that. But I am saying, like, who are you surrounding yourself with? Who are you turning to when you need to vent? Who are you turning to when you need to celebrate? Who are you turning to? And not that these same people, because most likely they're the same people, right, that should be doing this, but you may have just different people that, need to do different things for you. So as we are growing and we're looking inward and we're trying to figure out, like, okay, let me get back to that core identity of who I am, and I am changing my mindset because now I know the way in which I want to go. And now in this block, it's like, all right, how am I communicating? Who am I sharing my innermost feelings and thoughts with? Who can help, help hold me accountable? Who can support me? Who can cheerlead for me? Who can do all of those things? Who can lead me to the people that can help me to get to where I need to go and where I want to go? Do you have that? And are you communicating clearly so that they can help you to get there? Are you being positive when you're talking to yourself? And here's the other thing, like we're all, I mean, we will hold on to the negative from ourselves and from other people more so than the positives, right? So when that happens, because it's going to happen, we're human, it happens. How do you take that? How do you take that information in, and then what do you do with it? Do you allow, like I say, feel the feels for a moment and then say, okay, how am I switching that around? Or are you getting lost in the sauce, going down the rabbit hole, trying to figure that out? So these are all things that we're all dealing with all the time because we have our own needs and wants and desires while we are being here for everyone else to help them with theirs, right? Being the drummer, you know, that steady cadence so everybody can do what they need to do, but not getting so zoned out that we forget who we are, and then being able to communicate all of that to them and to ourselves so that we can all be healthier and happier and doing what we need to do here while we have the time to do it. So I'm just going to break in with that a little bit. We're going to talk about this more, as we're starting to build bricks upon, foundations as we're entering into a new year. So I'm super excited. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. And I just appreciate you. So anything that you want to share, hit me up. You know how you can reach me. I'm kind of everywhere. And just keep doing what you're doing, but start thinking about these things. Start being nice to yourself, and let's get ready to have the most amazing year. All right, y'all. See you next week. Bye.